The most expensive mistakes I've seen buyers make have nothing to do with the house. They have to do with four numbers that nobody hands you before you sign. I've watched it happen again and again. A family falls in love with this home, gets the keys, and 6 months later realizes that the payment that they thought they understood was never the real payment. Not because anyone lied to them, because nobody walked them through the four costs that hit after closing. So today, I'm walking you through all four. Property taxes that don't match the listing, the maintenance number people pretend maybe isn't there, the commute that quietly eats the savings, and the one I care about the most, the one your lender will almost never bring up on purpose. Stay to the end for that one. It's a difference between owning a home and being owned by it. Quick word, you might be wondering why I'm sharing this with you. I've spent nearly 3 decades helping families into homes, thousands of them, and I've bought plenty of them on my own along the way, which means I've made a few of these mistakes myself before I learned how to spot them for somebody else. Red flag number 1 is property taxes. And this one starts before you ever talk to a lender. Usually it starts on Zillow, Redfin. And here's the thing, when you're scrolling through Zillow or Redfin, the tax number on that listing belongs to sometimes the current owner, or they're just guesstimating it, but it doesn't belong to you. And nobody on that website stops to explain it. So buyers, they build their own budget around a number that was really never theirs. They're looking at the payment, thinking it works, and it works on paper. That's already wrong. Now, most good lenders will use the accurate number. That's their job. But here's the part that nobody warned you about. Not every lender knows the local rules, and some of them get this math wrong. And here in California, when they get it wrong, you find out the hard way. It's called the supplemental tax bill. And here's how that one works. You close, you move in, life is good. Then a few months later, the county catches up, reassesses the home on what you paid, and mails you this bill for the difference. If your lender ran the taxes correctly and set your escrow up right, you're covered. It's handled. But if they didn't, and that bill lands on your kitchen table and you're paying out of pocket, sometimes thousands of dollars you really never planned for, that's gonna be a painful thing. So this whole red flag comes down to one thing. Whoever you work with has to be detailed enough to get your tax number right the first time. Not the Zillow number, not the rounded guess, the real assessed number run for your home in your county. That's the difference between a smooth first year and waking up to a supplemental tax bill that drains your savings you were going to put into your house or towards your retirement. Red flag number 2 is maintenance. And this one's quiet, which is exactly why it gets people. When you rent, something breaks, you call someone. When you own and something breaks, you are that someone. A decent rule of thumb is about 1% of the home's value every year on upkeep. So on a $1 million home, that's $10,000 a year. Call it $800 a month. You're quietly setting aside for a water heater, the roof, the AC unit that always seems to quit in August, which is not fun. Most buyers, they budget for the mortgage and kind of stop there. Then the 2-year hits, the HVAC goes, and the emergency fund becomes the new roof. I'm telling you this so you build that cushion before you need it, not during the leak. The house is kind of the easy part, maybe, but the structure around the house is where people win or lose. Quick thing before we go to the next two, which are really the big ones, I put together a homebuyer playbook. If you want a copy of it, it's free. It'll be in the description below. All right, moving on to red flag number 3, and this one is a big one. It's the one that looks like a smart move. You're buying farther out to get more home for less money. On paper, looks like a great trade. You got same square footage, lower price, sometimes $100,000 less plus. So people drive until they qualify. Problem is the savings, it shows up on the purchase price, and the cost, it shows up everywhere else. Gas, wear and tear on the car, tolls, and the part that nobody puts a number on, your time. An extra 45 minutes each way is about 7.5 hours a week. It's kind of like a part-time job you're working just to live where you bought. I've had buyers save a lot of money in the home and spend it right back in 3 years sitting in traffic. Plus the part you don't get back, which is the dinners with your family that you missed. If the home farther out is genuinely what you want, you can buy it on purpose. Just don't buy it by accident because the spreadsheet told you it was cheaper. Cheaper to buy and cheaper to live are two different numbers. And red flag number 4, this is the one I told you to stay for. This is the one that's really, really passionate to me. When you get it pre-approved, the lender is going to hand you a maximum number you qualify for, the most they'll let you borrow. And here's what almost nobody says out loud. That number is not a recommendation. It's a ceiling. The bank, they are not your financial advisor. The approval is built on your debt to income ratios on paper. doesn't know about your kid starting soccer club next year, your little one in preschool, doesn't know that you actually want to retire someday. I mean, really, it doesn't even know that you want to take your family on vacation next summer. What it knows is the math, and the math says yes. So you're the buyer, you get pre-approved for $800,000, you get all excited, and you start shopping for $800,000. And then every month it feels tight. The home you were supposed to love starts to feel like a cage. This is a really huge focus for our team. We actually go the other way. We start with the payment that you can actually live with, the one that leaves you room for your life. And we build price around that. Sometimes that means I'm going to suggest less than you're approved for. I've talked buyers down from their max more times than I can count. And not one of them has ever called me years later wishing I had let them stretch. Because getting you into the wrong home is worse than not buying at all, and that's the wrong job. So those are the big four: taxes that don't match the listing, maintenance that hides until it doesn't, a commute that costs you more than it saves, and a max approval that was never meant for your budget. Notice what all four of them have in common? None of them are about the house. They're all about the structure around it. That's the part that my team and I care about, because that's the part that decides whether you love this home or you resent it. If you want me to run the real numbers, the reassessed taxes, the upkeep, the payment that actually fits your life, that's what a strategy call is. Just your situation, the straight answers, the links below whenever you're ready. And if you want, the video I'd watch next, I broke down how one car payment quietly wrecks your buying power. Turns out red flag number 3 has a cousin. I'll see you on that one.